So, guys, in this next news story, a pair of kingpins who hid £17.2 million worth of coke in blocks of cheese have been jailed after officers raided their drugs unit. Saleem Chaudhri was spotted by Lancashire Police driving to the unit in a Toyota he had picked up from a drugs courier. Officers then followed the 46-year-old and found 217 kilos of coke imported from Belgium at the old fire station in Blackburn, ready to be distributed across the country. The kingpin was arrested on May the 3rd, 2023, just hours before he was set to hand over 67 kilos of drugs to one courier who was arrested on the same day and 63 kilos to another. 2 months later, police arrested Rieddul Mohabath, who's 28, who'd been directing couriers involved in the cocaine distribution operation and was found to have Class A drugs and a significant amount of cash in properties in the northeast. Investigators later found evidence that Chaudhry agreed to sell over 2,000 kilos of cocaine worth over £70 million. The astonishing moment officers found the bags of drugs buried inside the blocks of cheese was revealed in a video posted by Lancashire Police. Police are seen cutting open cardboard boxes with a knife and finding them filled with orange cheese. The officers then carefully claw away the cheese and discover blocks of drugs hidden away. More cocaine was found in black bin bags at the units, and police later found almost £10,000 in cash at Chowdhury's home. The cheese-themed announcement on X said, "Say cheese. This is the moment Saleem Chaudhri and Rieddul Mohabath said cheese to our custody camera after concealing cocaine inside blocks of cheese smuggled from Belgium." Not a good idea if you ask us. Back in May 2023, police said they raided Chowdhury's unit at the old fire station in Blackburn and found £17.2 million haul of cocaine ready to be distributed across the United Kingdom. It said some of the drugs were hidden in blocks of cheese, but no problem for our sharp officers who got to work uncovering it. An investigation was launched uncovering money laundering and other criminal exploits before it all crumbled like feta. It said our evidence shows that between September 2022 and May 2023, Chaudhry agreed to sell over 2,000 kilos worth over £70 million. He said, unluckily, we didn't take Chowdhury's curd that he was acting alone. Our investigation identified that Mohabath was directing couriers, storing cash and concealing drugs as part of an organised crime gang. So Chaudhry was sentenced to 27.5 years and Mohabath was jailed for 16 years. The pair pleaded guilty to conspiracy to supply cocaine, with Chaudhry also pleaded guilty to money laundering at Preston Crown Court. Detective Sergeant Hayden Sibley of Lancashire Police said Chaudhry and his associates went to great lengths to hide their product, and with the amount of cocaine seized, the biggest haul ever in Lancashire, you can understand why. He said when we arrested Chaudhry, you could see by the look on his face that his world had crumbled, and that is reflected by the significant sentence he has received today. He said, we welcome the sentences that both Chaudhry and Mohabath received, and I hope it sends out a clear message that what you should expect to happen when we catch you supplying Class A drugs in Lancashire. And in another story coming from Lancashire ways, a man who boasts of his luxury lifestyle on an encrypted messaging service has been jailed for 20 years. Simon Rooney, who's 39, from Burnley, used the handle Luxury Fall on the platform to supply cocaine and other illegal drugs. Rooney was unaware that his messages had been recovered by French law enforcement and shared with the National Crime Agency as part of Operation Venetic. NCA officers began investigating Luxury Fall's messages on EncroChat in May 2020. After trawling through thousands of messages, it became clear that Luxury Fall was involved in supplying cocaine and methadone, which is a Class B drug. Luxury Fall also discussed importing cutting agents such as horsewormer, which would bulk out the drugs to increase potential profits. Investigators subsequently identified Rooney as the man behind Luxury Fall. Thinking his use of EncroChat gave him complete anonymity, Rooney shared images of his cars, his garden and his house and described the extensive work he was having carried out at his home. One message read, "Mate, I've got this house. It's a nice area but looks like footballers moved in. Had it all renders, knocked walls, open plan, massive kitchen, dug all the garden out on front and made a massive drive, fits 10 cars." The NCA worked with Thames Valley Police and Border Force, who also launched investigations which identified Rooney was involved in drug supply. On the 24th of May 2020, Border Force officers at Heathrow Airport seized 336 kilos of the bulking agent, which they recovered from a flight inbound from Hong Kong. NCA officers subsequently identified that the email address and the paperwork for the cargo belonged to Rooney. Rooney, under the guise of luxury fall, also shared an image of the paperwork via EncroChat, further proving his link to that cutting agents. The large quantity of cutting agent was estimated to have a wholesale value of around £47 million once mixed with cocaine. In June 2020, Thames Valley police officers investigating a fatal road traffic collision executed a search warrant at one of the houses in Kidlington. They recovered 60 kilos of amphetamine with a street value of around £600,000. Thames Valley police investigators uncovered evidence that suggested Rooney had supplied the amphetamines to an organised crime group operating in Thames Valley and the southeast of England. This was confirmed when subsequent forensic analysis of the drugs identified Rooney's DNA on the drugs and packaging. Today, Thames Valley Police and NC officers executed a warrant and he was arrested and subsequently charged. Rooney was convicted following a 4-week trial at Oxford Crown Court in which a jury found him guilty of 5 offences relating to the supply of cocaine, methadone and amphetamines and conspiracy to acquire and supply cutting agents. NCA Senior Investigating Officer Andrew McGill said, "Together, the NCA Border Force in Thames Valley closed the net on Rooney. By gathering the evidence on Rooney's crimes, we ensured he faced justice. We've also taken a large quantity of drugs and cutting agents out of circulation so they cannot cause harm to communities and money from their sale be used to line the pockets of criminals." Thames Valley Police Investigating Officer PC Adam Taylor said, "This is a fantastic result for everyone involved. Thanks go to everybody who has helped in this case. It's not been an easy trial, but I'm grateful to the jury for their deliberations, which has led to the convictions. Rooney is now serving a lengthy custodial sentence, and a significant quantity of drugs has been removed from the supply chain." And in this next story, a man has been jailed for 8 years after stealing a car with an 89-year-old passenger inside it. David Stevenson has been jailed for 8 years and 6 months after being found guilty of kidnap, theft of a motor vehicle, dangerous driving and driving without a licence. On Saturday, January the 6th, 2024, Greater Manchester Police received a panic call from the daughter of an 89-year-old woman whose car had been stolen from nearby Ashton with a mother in it. As it was January, she had left the engine running to keep the heating on in the car to keep her elderly mother warm for 10 minutes while she went into the shops. Stevenson, not fazed by the fact a vulnerable elderly woman was in the passenger seat, got in the car and drove off. Specialist officers from Greater Manchester Police's roads policing units were immediately notified, and due to the risk posed to the passenger, a pursuit was authorised. Thankfully, police were able to bring the car to a safe stop and detain Stevenson and reunite the victim with her daughter. So guys, there's a number of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.